my loves? What it do? You already know the hair vibes, so let's get into it.
Wait, before we get into it, I must warn you, this is my very first YouTube tutorial, so you're going to see some mistakes. One in particular, I did record the video vertically, so it may look a little weird, but I promise you, you're definitely going to learn something from the video. Also, you're going to see footage from night and day because it did take me 3 days to complete. But nevertheless, again, this is very good content. I'm here for the constructive criticism, so go ahead and leave all the comments in the comment section. To my first 100 people to like, comment, and subscribe, I am going to randomly pick about 25 of you to gift a wholesale vendor's license. This is a thank you from me to you. It is going to be absolutely free. And again, business is booming, guys, so this could potentially set you up for greatness. Without further ado, go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, so what you see here is my custom homemade wig foam head, in which I prefer to use this over anything because it does give me my perfect fit. So once you see the excess cap that's hanging over your mold, just go ahead and fold it over and try to sew it down as flat as possible. Also, a coin saved is a coin made any day, amen. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take our frontal, we're going to lay it as flat as we can towards the back. And what that does is create a little slack in the front of your frontal, which is like this M shape. And that's exactly what you're looking for because it's going to be very essential to the fit of your wig. Alright, so you want to start in the middle. And what you're going to see me is make my first stitch or no. So I don't know if I was just looking into the camera at this time and not paying attention, but I totally missed the cap. Anyway, players mess up too. Take two. So once you make your first stitch, you're going to start in the middle back of your frontal. And the method that you see me using is I'm just pushing my needle partially through, and then I'm wrapping my thread around it a few times, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull the needle all the way through. And what this does is creates a knot in each of your stitches, which does work wonderfully. I just don't normally use this method because it's just too messy for me, and it looks a lot better when other stylists do it. So I'm going to go for what I know, and I normally try to make a loop with my thread, and then I just pull my needle straight through, and that's what you're going to see me do the rest of the way. Alright, so my next stitch, notice how I skip over that elastic fabric that's alongside the cap. And what you want to do is not take away from the stretch of the wig. So once you actually fit it on, it does allow it to stretch like it would normally. And I think I learned that from Slave by Jordan, who was wonderful, by the way. Alright, it's pretty much repetitive from here. You're just going to continue to stitch alongside this first side of your frontal. Make your way back up and then stitch along the other side. Okay, so when you reach the part of the cap that is elastic that you cannot avoid, this is what you do. You want to carefully put your needle through the first layer of that elastic fabric. That way you're not going all the way through, again preventing you from making the wig too tight and not being able to stretch as you need. Once that side is sewn, go ahead and cut your thread, leaving yourself enough room to make a few knots. And I'm going to tie about 3 or 4 knots. After you have secured your knot, you can go ahead and cut the remaining thread completely off. And once your frontal has been completely sewn, you can go ahead and start laying the tracks along the back, working from one side of the frontal around to the other side. Here I have my longest bundle. I'm going to fold it in half, and it is a 22 inch. What I'm going to do right now is secure the doubled track that I have. So I'm going to pin it on one side, or the beginning of my track, in the middle of my track, and also on the other end of the track. I like to do this because it prevents me from having to reposition my hands as I sew, and obviously it does support the track and keeps it in place so that it's not slipping as I sew as well. Once you have it all pinned, what you're going to do is go ahead and remove the first pin. And this is a double weft again, so I'm going to take my loose ends first. I'm going to push my needle through both of the wefts. And as I attach it to the cap, I'm going to be careful not to push my needle all the way through that elastic fabric once again, so that it does not take away from the needed stretch. I just opened up my thread in the beginning to create that loop, pull my needle through, and that's what creates my perfect stitch. And after you've made your first stitch through the wefts, everything thereafter can be underneath the wefts and then onto the cap. And you're going to repeat those same stitches all the way to the other end of your track. And once we get to the other end of the track, I will demonstrate and explain how to properly fold your double wefts so that you leave no lumps, no bumps, no humps. Okay, so to get the flattest fold on your double weft, what you're going to do is alternate your stitches. So the first weft, you want to bring it through with the needle, and that second weft you're going to take it under Once you have folded, you're going to alternate those stitches, and I'm going to show it better once we get on the other side. No lumps, no bumps, no humps. All right, now we can go ahead and remove the pin. And what you're going to see me do is kind of split the wefts apart. I'm going to bring the needle through the first weft under the second weft, and then go ahead and attach them both to the cap. Bring my needle through the middle of that loop. Go ahead and secure your stitch. And once you fold it, you're going to alternate your stitch. Now you're going to bring your needle under the first weft and through the second weft, attach them both to the cap, and boom. This way you will leave your wig with no lumps, no bumps, no humps, period. And again, this is already a double weft, so that fold is laying flat as possible. Okay, we are now working with bundle number 2. And what we're going to do here is go ahead and secure it like before, securing down the first part of your track in the middle, and you can also secure the other end. I'm going to be bringing my needle through both of the wefts, opening up my thread to create that loop, then bringing my needle through that loop to create that perfect stitch once again. Perfect. So now you just want to continue to sew until you have reached the end of your bundle, and right where it is folded, because you doubled your weft, so you have a folded end, you're just going to create as many stitches as possible right on the end of the folded weft. This is going to make your fold as flat as possible. I like to do about 3 to 4 stitches on this end personally. Make sure your stitch is tight and secure. And boom, y'all already know, I don't even really have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. No lumps, no bumps, no humps, period. We have now reached the top crown of your wig and the last bundle. So I'm going to purposely sew this whole bundle in this top crown section, because I am wearing a half up, half down style with this wig. So I don't like for my ponytail to look like the little Tweety Bird ponytails. So to create a nice full ponytail, I'm going to sew this whole bundle on this top crown so that I can use that for my ponytail. I'm only going to stitch the first stitch with you guys because it is pretty repetitive from here. You're just going to sew back and forth like so, laying your tracks directly on top of each other so that you can have a nice full look and be able to fit that whole bundle in that area. Okay, so right here I wanted to zoom in so that you can see how I attach my track to the existing weft that's already on the cap. Alright, so you're going to do this to prevent any gaps in between the hair that you have for your ponytail. Again, you're going to pull all of this hair up into a ponytail, and sewing or attaching your track to the weft that's already sewn down will prevent any gaps from showing. Alright, and it's pretty repetitive from here, guys. Again, you're going to continue to sew on top of each other. Again, connecting your folded tracks onto the existing weft, and boom, you got your full blown lace front wig, half up, half down style. One time for the half up, half down. We have now reached the portion of the video where it's all about the color. I do want to add that I recommend that you add one more track in between that bottom bundle and the top portion where your ponytail will be, just to give it a more smooth effect when you have your ponytail up. Nevertheless, you want to make 4 sections in your wig. I have 2 sections in the back. I have knotted off the frontal portion of the hair, and also the crown is in its own bun. Let's go ahead and get into this color. So I'm creating a 3-dimensional color. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and part off an approximately 1-inch section. I'm going to leave that natural black. And then my next section I'm parting off is approximately 2 inches. I'm going to go ahead and clip away the remaining of that section. I'll grab my 2-inch section and make a thin weave across the top. This weave is going to, of course, be for my highlighted area. So I'm just going to clip that away. I'm now going to color this middle portion. Okay, so this is a box color. It is a honey blonde box color again, but I have tweaked the formula. Basically, it came with a 30 volume developer, and I've switched it to a 50 volume developer. The reason being is that this is already a 7A grade hair. I know it's not going to give me the proper lift with also keeping its integrity, so I'm hitting it hard with a 50 volume developer so that I can get it up to a light brown, even though I'm using a honey blonde. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure you saturate it completely. Comb it out, resaturate, do whatever you got to do. Apply it on the top and bottom portion of that section. You want it completely saturated. Now, what you're about to see here is probably something you've never seen before. Yes, I am using wax paper, and I promise you I'm not trying to be extra. This wax paper is, again, because this is 7A grade hair, and I don't want to jeopardize the integrity of this hair because it's already just basically a cheap hair. This is actually 3 bundles and 1 frontal, obviously, and it cost me less than $100 off of Amazon Prime. I will definitely be uploading another video on how I pre-treated this hair in order to keep it with a longer lasting luster and a silky smooth touch. So be prepared for that. Go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button so that you can get that information fresh off the press. This lightener that I'm using, guys, it is Quick Blue mixed with 40 volume developer. So the 40 volume developer with the combination of this thin weave and also the wax paper is going to give me a safe lift to the honey blonde highlight that I'm looking for. Again, make sure it's completely saturated. Comb through it, brush through it, rub it through some more. Make sure you apply it on top and bottom. Whatever you have to do, it needs to be completely saturated. Again, I'm coming in with my wax paper, okay, so that I can have some type of heat entrapment, but not to overwhelm this 7A grade hair. We're going to be repeating that same technique throughout the whole entire wig, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave you guys to it. Alright guys, so it's no different here on the crown portion of your wig. Go ahead and create your first 1-inch parting. Go ahead and clip that section out of the way. You're going to keep it the natural black that it already is. Go ahead and create your 2-inch parting. And from there, you're going to go ahead and weave out a thin section along the top part of your 2-inch parting. Again, that is going to be your highlighted hair that you color. So just go ahead and clip that out of the way. Grab that middle section. Anything that is too wide to handle, go ahead and split it in half. And then begin to saturate your first color in that midsection. have completed, it should look something like this. I did let it process for 30 minutes under a plastic cap, and then boom, there you have it, a nice, beautiful three-dimensional color. We have totally transformed this wig, and I am absolutely loving it. From that natural black color to now a medium brown with golden honey, golden touch, kissed, whatever have you highlights. Let's go ahead and get into this cut. All right, so I have already cut half of this wig, and if you notice, I sectioned the hair to where the whole top crown and the back of the wig is all combined. The only thing that's sectioned off is the frontal that I would not be cutting because it's already a few inches shorter than the rest of my hair. But I am following a guide, so I just basically take some of the hair that I was already cut, adding it to hair that I need to cut, creating a vertical section, pulling it straight out, and then cutting off whatever is extra. I'm going to continue to walk my layer all the way up this vertical section, making sure I do not recut anything that was already cut. I'm only cutting what you see is longer. On this next section, I'm going to go ahead and pull it over that vertical line so that it does give me a nice consistent layer. I am taking nice big sections because I do have a nice big comb, and I actually like this comb a lot. It's just something that I got used to over the years. But most people, you don't see most people cut with a comb this big. Anyway, you're going to continue to follow your guide all the way up your vertical section. Again, making sure you only cut hair that is longer than your previous cut. Angling it over your section about 45 degrees does give it a nice consistent long layer once again. And I am an instructor, guys, so I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, just a little bit. I am going to check both sides of the back of this wig, left and right, just to make sure that it is consistently cut throughout the back. Look at that color, so beautiful. And once I measured those sides, I did notice that I needed to clean up some more hair on this side. Most of the time when you cross check, you're going to find something for you to cut, so don't be alarmed. It's normal. And I'm really struggling with this mannequin head, y'all, because it's not a real mannequin stand that it's on. It's actually a video camera stand that I actually bought for about $6 at Goodwill. Might as well call me the coin saver slayer, honey. Now this is the hair that I saw when I was cross-checking, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean that up. And again, that is the reason why you're cross-checking, because you're always liable to find something. Guys, if you do not notice anything for you to cut, please do not cut it. Otherwise, you're just going to make the whole outcome a lot shorter than what you were going for. Alright, so after I've cleaned it up, I'm going to measure it again. And I am now satisfied with that. But adding the long layers, guys, it really gives a lot of movement. Look at all that movement in the hair. So much more movement when you have layers. Doing long layers won't hurt at all. It's really not a lot that I cut, but it does make a big difference. There's not much more left to do, guys, but if you have made it thus far, thank you so much. You are a trooper. Thank you so much. But honey, I just got one question. Stiff where? I say stiff where, honey? I'm going to go ahead and get into this mold real quick. I did have a bang, so I'm sectioning out my bang. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply some, what is this? Nairobi. Applying the Nairobi foam in the bang area so that it is just basically tamed. This is not a set in stone thing that I'm doing, guys. I'm just taming the hair into the style that I want it so that it's easier for me after I apply my wig. So I'm going to mold the front, and then I'm going to mold the back of the wig so that it stays in place, and then I'm going to go ahead and mold my ponytail in place as well. If you don't know by now, she is ready, honey. Stiff wear. Stiff wear. I had a lot of fun making this wig, guys, and a lot of fun showing you how I did it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I mean, you might as well. You done made it this far, sugar. Toodaloo.